All right, welcome in everybody to the deep dive. We've got a really interesting one today. I mean, this guy, MrBeast, he's everywhere online, right? You can't really avoid him. And you, our awesome listeners, sent us a ton of stuff about him, so thanks for that. I mean, we got his videos, we got these critiques, people really going after him, and then even some stuff from folks who used to work with him. It's quite a mix.
Yeah, it's a whole lot to process, right? I think a lot of you out there are trying to figure out what to make of all the talk, all the back and forth about Mr. Beast. So, our goal here is to kind of break it down, pull out what really matters, the main storylines, and help you get a clear picture without having to, spend weeks going down internet rabbit holes.
So let's jump right in, all right? Beast Games, his big Amazon Prime thing, that seemed to cause quite a stir, right?
Yeah, that's a good place to start. If you look at Rotten Tomatoes, it's like two different worlds. The audience scores, those are pretty good. It seems like a lot of people enjoyed it. But the critics, oof, they were not impressed.
I saw some of those reviews. Brutal.
Yeah, you see a lot of the same words popping up. Inauthentic, over the top for no reason, even migraine-inducing, which, wow.
Migraine-inducing. Yikes. But it wasn't just reviewers, right? There was that whole class action lawsuit from contestants.
That's right, and that gets into some serious stuff. The lawsuit claims the conditions for the people competing were really bad, like Uber codes that didn't work, meaning they had to pay out of pocket for rides, which nobody wants to do. Then you have complaints about waiting forever for food, and when they did get food, it was like quinoa, boiled eggs, oatmeal, not nearly enough for all the crazy stuff they were doing.
Not exactly fueling those intense challenges, huh?
Nope. And it gets worse. There are allegations about the medical care being totally insufficient. One contestant even said they had a seizure from being so exhausted and dehydrated, and they claimed they weren't allowed to take their own medication. That's scary stuff.
Man, that's a far cry from the fun, high-energy vibe you usually see in his videos.
No kidding. And then there's this account from a contestant who said Mr. Beast actually changed a game right before it started, and it got them eliminated. Like, how much of what we see online, even when it's supposed to be a fair competition, is actually being messed with behind the scenes?
That's a good question. So, with all this negativity around Beast Games, what did MrBeast say?
Well, one source said his response was basically, hey, this show is for people who already like my YouTube stuff. But you have to wonder, on a platform like Amazon, where way more people are going to see it, is that going to turn off a bunch of potential viewers? Like, what's the bigger plan here?
All right, let's get into something even more controversial, shall we? The whole thing about rigged videos and deception. The guy making most of these claims is Dogpack404, right? A former employee, I think.
That's Dawson French. And he's not holding back. He says they rigged videos, did illegal lotteries, even faked signatures.
Fake signatures. Okay, hold on. Let's take this one step at a time. What's he saying about the videos?
He says they use CGI, computer graphics, to fake stuff, like train tracks, bus wheels, even explosions. He also says they scripted storylines, especially with this guy, Mac Hopkins. Supposedly, Mac moved to Greenville before he ever showed up in videos, and he's actually a secret employee, maybe an editor, and his whole persona is staged. So again, how much of what we're seeing is actually real and how much is just made up for the camera?
And this whole thing about random subscribers
Yeah.
and the challenges, not so random, maybe.
Exactly. Dogpack404 is saying those random subscribers are often friends, family of employees, or even employees themselves. Plus, Mr. Beast's girlfriend has been in some videos, which makes you wonder. He also claims that the results of some challenges were manipulated, like to get a specific outcome.
Didn't he say there was one where they basically scripted the ending so they wouldn't have a PR nightmare?
Right. He claims they rigged a challenge so the male contestants wouldn't win by too much, because it might have looked bad.
Okay, now let's dive into the illegal lottery accusations. Can you quickly break down what makes a lottery illegal?
Sure. It usually comes down to three things. There's a prize, something of value you can win. There's chance, meaning the winner is chosen randomly. And then there's consideration, which basically means you have to pay or buy something to enter. If all three are there and it's not run by the government or something, then it's probably illegal.
So how does this apply to MrBeast's giveaways?
Well, there are several examples, especially from this live stream back in 2020 when he hit 40 million subscribers. They were giving away some serious cash during that stream, like $500, $3,000, even $11,000. But you had to buy a limited edition shirt to be eligible. So you're buying something for the chance to win right there.
And there were other issues with how they ran these things, right?
Definitely. They weren't always consistent with when they announced the winners. Sometimes it was way later than they said it would be.
Yeah.
And some people claimed they never got the prizes they were promised. There was also this Tesla giveaway where it seemed like you had to buy something to enter.
That's pretty sketchy. Didn't they also pull some other shady stuff?
Yeah, some people are saying they only signed the big shirts, not the smaller ones, and that they didn't give out all the prizes they said they would. Even in a later live stream where they said no purchase necessary, most of the big prizes still required you to buy something. It's like, come on, guys.
All right, let's switch gears to Feastables, his chocolate brand. The big controversy there is the whole unpaid labor thing, right?
Yeah, when they launched Feastables, they had this big contest where if you bought enough chocolate bars, you could win a chocolate factory. Again, you got to buy something to enter. But the unpaid labor accusations are about something else. They asked fans to go to stores and clean up the Feastables displays for a chance to win $5,000. People saw that as exploiting his fans, getting them to do promo work for free.
And just to touch on it, he's gotten to the food industry even more with that Lunchables thing, right?
Yeah, he teamed up with Logan Paul and KSI to make their own version of Lunchables, which they claim is healthier than the regular ones.
Okay, let's tackle a more complicated topic. MrBeast and cryptocurrency, specifically the accusations about him doing rug pulls. For our listeners who might not be crypto experts, can you explain what a rug pull is?
Basically, it's a scam where the people behind a new cryptocurrency, they pump it up, create all this hype, get the price way up. Then when a bunch of people have invested, they ditch the project, they sell all their coins, the price crashes, and everyone else is left holding worthless tokens.
And MrBeast is accused of being involved in these.
Yep. There are a couple examples. Refinable and XCAD are the names of the coins. He got a bunch of these tokens and then sold them pretty soon after either promoting them or just being publicly associated with them. Some people say he made like $23 million doing this.
It really shows the power these influencers have, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Someone like MrBeast with millions of followers, they just have to mention a small crypto and it can take off. People trust them, so they invest, the price goes up, and the early investors, including the influencer, make bank. The problem is, when the influencer sells, the price tanks, and their followers are left holding the bag.
Okay, now for something even more nuanced, his philanthropy. He's known for these huge charitable acts, but some people are saying it's exploitative.
It's definitely a tough one. The question is, are these acts of giving really about helping people, or is it all about creating content that goes viral? Some people say that focusing on capturing those emotional reactions for videos kind of cheapens the whole act of giving, like he's using people's vulnerability for views.
And filming people when they're going through really hard times, that's another issue, right?
For sure. There's a debate about whether it's ethical to film people at their lowest points just for entertainment. And then there's the white savior criticism, particularly with his international charity stuff. Like, is he just reinforcing power dynamics by swooping in as the rich Westerner to save people?
There was a lot of talk about this with the video where he helped 1,000 blind people see again.
Definitely. Some people called it amazing, incredibly generous, but others were really put off. Some even used strong words like demonic. There was also the idea that this life-changing surgery was kind of tied to YouTube views, like you had to be in the video to get help.
Didn't MrBeast address that, though?
Yeah, he said that anyone who had the surgery but didn't want to be filmed still got the help they needed, so it wasn't strictly about being in the video.
So with all these accusations and controversies flying around, how has MrBeast responded?
Well, he said he hired a team to do an investigation, and they supposedly found that nothing majorly wrong had happened. He also blamed some of the earlier stuff on being young and inexperienced when he started out.
He's also thinking about suing some people, right?
Yeah, he said he's going to sue Dogpack 404, Dawson French, for defamation. He says those videos have cost him a lot of money. He also claimed that French manipulated him early on.
What about the whole moldy Lunchables situation?
Yeah, even with all the reports and pictures online, MrBeast denied that there was a big recall. He also said he wished he had addressed all these accusations sooner.
And it sounds like they've been trying to fight back against all the negative stuff.
Definitely. They've been reaching out to other YouTubers like this guy, SOG, to make videos debunking Dogpack 404's claims. It seems like a pretty organized damage control effort. There's even a report that MrBeast's right-hand man paid for SOG's video.
So zooming out a bit, what are the big takeaways here?
I think it really comes down to the contrast between MrBeast's image This super generous philanthropist, and all these allegations about shady business, fake content, and taking advantage of people. It makes you think about online fame, how much power these huge influencers have, and how blurry the lines are between entertainment, making money, and actually being charitable.
It definitely shows how hard it is to know the whole truth when you're just watching these videos.
For sure. It's complicated, and as we've seen, there are a lot of different opinions and ways to interpret what's going on.
So what's the one thing we want our listeners to think about as they continue to explore the wild world of online content, especially when it comes to MrBeast?
I think it's important to remember how much influence these guys have, especially on younger viewers. They have a responsibility to be careful with that power. And for us, the viewers, we got to be critical. We can't just take everything at face value. We have to think about the motivations behind what we're seeing, not just the content itself.
Well said. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and stay curious out there.
Absolutely. Catch you next time.